especially at the competitive level of the Western side. And recently, I would say that Eastern science that China is not doing. So, guys, before I invite Professor Rao, I would like to introduce briefly about him. You must know that he did not need any introduction because he is an established researchers, leaders, and innovators in India. But then I would like to briefly explain that Professor V. Ramgopal Rao is a Vice Chancellor of Birla Institute of Technology presently, and before joining the BITS Pilani Group as a Vice Chancellor, he served as Director of IIT Delhi for the last 6 years, and a Chair Professor of Nanoelectronics at IIT Delhi and IIT Bombay same time. Professor Rao is a nanoelectronic researcher. He has 500 research papers and 50 patents, which include 20 US patents. Interestingly, 15 of his research patents have been licensed for industry and commercializations, and the IP and CMOS SOC applications developed in his group, and now is hundreds of millions of ICs sold all over the world. Professor Rao is also a co-founder of 2 deep technology startups in IIT Bombay, NanoSniff and Soil Sense, which has successfully commercial product in the market. For his research accomplishment, he is already awarded for IEEE Fellow of the World's Academy of Science, Indian Academy of Science, Indian Science Academy of Science, IASC, and National Academy of Science, and Indian National Science Academy. Remarkably, he has supervised 52 PhD students, which is huge, I would say. And these students, I'm sure, would have been leading a multiple aspects of research and technology, both in academics and in industry. Other than that, Professor Rao's research and leadership contribution has been recognized by the numerous awards, which would be, I would say that some of them I can count, that would be the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize, which is most prestigious for the young institute in India, Infosys Prize, IEEE EDS Education Award, and many more. He is also serving as in many editorial advisory boards of many journals or many patent office or something like that. And he must have reviewed for hundreds and thousands of, I would say, the papers, which would be IEEE journals and flexible electronics, etc. So with that, sir, on the behalf of AIRSA family, I would like to welcome you and deliver the talk, which will be helpful for the young investigators to understand where India is going to and what would be the policy that will help India to lift up and be competitive in the science and technology across the world.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. So is it okay now? Can I start now? Shall I share?
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah, okay, let me see. I hope you're able to see my presentation. Are you able to see my presentation? So,
yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I will take about 40 minutes. Then we can have discussion for maybe 15-20 minutes. So I'll keep it short and more multidisciplinary. And I have been talking about these issues at multiple fora. Just yesterday, I gave a talk to IIT Bombay Alumni Association, on some of these aspects. But I will, give you an overview of what I believe are the challenges in India and what India needs to do so that we can ignite that innovation. And give you. So India is a large country when it comes to the higher education system. I believe we have, though we have a low gross enrollment ratio, which is just 27%, but we still have about 43 million students studying in universities, and with a 50-50 kind of a gender ratio, which is again good. And this is slightly dated. The PhD, there are about 300,000 PhD students, doing around approximately 300,000 PhD students who are doing PhD in our educational institutions in India. And so therefore it's a large system, and most of this research is done by the PhD students. And even all the work that I am presenting here is all the work done by PhD students. So that way, I think all credits go to the PhDs. I mean, I always say that a faculty member is as good as his or her PhD students. Even if you have great ideas, if you are not able to attract quality PhD students, there is nothing much you can really do. You need to mute the other people. I think there is some noise coming in from somewhere. And if you look at the Indian R&D, India, as I said, large number of institutions, 1,000. First in the number of institutions. And in terms of the number of students, we are not the largest. China has more students. Second in the number of enrolled students in higher educational institutions. And in research, we are ranked third right now in the world. And we are also filing enough patents now, which is something that has changed. Though, we can talk about the quality of these patents and what is happening after the patents are filed. But in terms of numbers, we are definitely doing very well in terms of patents too. And then the 9th for citations, right? And so which is again shows that there is quite a bit of good quality research also happening. But I think the challenge lies after that. I think we are doing a lot of research is clear, whether it is good, bad, all of that is debatable, right? But what is happening out of this research? What are the outcomes of all the knowledge that we are generating? That is one thing where I believe there are challenges. That is 9th for innovation. Innovation, I define it as making value out of research. Right? You have published 100 papers, but what next? I mean, if those 100 papers did not yield anything in terms of an outcome, right? If people have not cited the work enough, and if nothing has happened in terms of improving some aspect of some product or process or something out of that research, then one would question the quality of that research. Therefore, innovation here I am defining it as the value generation out of the research. So from that point of view, we are ranked 39th for innovation. A country which is ranked third for research, 39th for innovation, I think it should worry us. Why is it that we are generating so much of knowledge, but nothing seems to be coming out of that knowledge? And 54th for percentage of GDP allocation for R&D. We are not spending enough money, unfortunately, in India for scientific R&D. which is a matter of concern. And one of the reasons why we are doing so poorly on innovation is because of our poor academia industry collaboration. There's hardly, any industry collaborating, at a level that we can talk about. Some transactional kind of relationships exist between academia and industry, but a deep engagement between academia and industry, you don't have too many such examples right now in the country. And so for academia industry, we are ranked 66th in the world right now out of some 130 countries rated for this. So which is a matter of concern. We also don't have enough researchers. 81st in the world for number of researchers per million population. So whereas we have about 300 scientists per million population, whereas we have about 300 scientists per million population, whereas US, for example, will have about 4,500 kind of scientists per million population. So there lies all the difference, right? We have, in any area you take, there are so few people doing quality research. We are not spending enough money, and our academia and industry collaborations are on a pretty, weak kind of a wicket. And these are the challenges. So I think if you ask me, what is that we need to improve in this country? We need to do much more, either by government or academic institutions or industry in bringing academia and industry closer. That's one thing which is required. We need to scale up our institutions. We need to hire more faculty in our institutions. Some of the finest institutions in this country, right, have 30 faculty or 40 faculty. Look at, JNCASR, Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Research. Per faculty output in JNC is the highest right now. I happen to be, chair of the board of governors of JNCASR, one of the finest institutions in the country when it comes to, research. And almost every second or third faculty member is either a Bhatnagar awardee or a fellow of an academy, right? With that kind of a high quality institute, there are just about 45 faculty. That's all. I mean, institutions like JNC must have 200 people, right? I think, the reason is we are not expanding on our quality educational institutions. And that is one major concern. If, hire more faculty in CSR, the same is true of any of the DST institutions that you take. There are so many great institutions run by DST, Department of Science and Technology, but all of them are tiny, 40 faculty, 50 faculty. Each institute of DST is like a department in an IIT. That is what it is right now. And I think, we need to scale up our researcher base. We are not doing very well in terms of number of researchers per million population. We need to invest money for making all of this happen. Is what generates jobs, right? If you publish a paper, the paper is not going to generate any jobs, right? If that research that you published is used by an industry to improve their process or to develop a new product, right? If that kind of thing happens, then that product open up new avenues for that industry. Therefore, they will require more people to work in that industry. So if that is the reason why research and innovation always need to go hand in hand. The knowledge that you generate must become useful for industry at some point so that they can make use of that and eventually, create more jobs for people. And I think in India, unfortunately, that research to innovation bridge is broken. And research is happening in its own silo. Innovation, whatever is happening, but not based on the knowledge that is getting generated out of these academic institutions. And India, though we are ranked third in the world, but we are way behind China and US, which have gone quite ahead. And even the Indian industry is not spending enough money on research.
Hello, sir. Sorry for interrupt you, sir. We are not audible. So there's some issue from, I think, your end, because there you are not audible.
So voice is not audible, sorry. Please.